Hello and welcome to Stitches and Stories at the Baker Estate Library and Archives. I am the author, and this evening I will be telling the tale of the Dragon's Hunger. This is a special treat. Not only do we have significant evidence supporting the validity of this story, we also have a journal written by someone who fell victim to this curse. The journal, first-hand accounts, and medical notes were admitted to the estate nearly 10 years ago. We have recently made several breakthroughs in researching the curse, and to celebrate, we wanted to share this haunting story with you. Please be aware that for the safety of our patrons, the names and locations in the story have been changed and the details will be vague. Before we begin, I want to answer some of the questions that were submitted from our previous story. Do you have any books written by the immortal writer available for public reading? Why, yes, we do! There are several different versions available in a variety of languages. Please visit our front desk for inquiries. Do you have any idea what was driving the writer to write? Unfortunately, no. This is one of the great mysteries still being researched in the archives here at the estate. Are there positions available at the estate? Not at this time, but please feel free to leave a resume with our front desk. Now please be aware, we have added some themed treats for this evening in the form of candy gems and chocolate coins. Please settle in for the tale of the Dragon's Hunger. For this particular story, we will be reading the journal entries submitted that surround the event. We are lucky that the individual who suffered through this curse was a strict diarist and has allowed us a first-hand view to what this curse can do. Entry 4357. We are resting for the time being. It has been a shockingly short journey with nothing more perturbing than the occasional rat. The halls have been empty of any signs of life, and there is no indication that those who lived here fought or fled. It's odd. We believe that we are near the treasure hall, so we will see if Banam is worth his word. Entry 4358. We found the treasure, but I cannot help feel we have found something else. While empty, the hold seemed harmless, until that final stretch. In the bowels of the hold, we found ourselves in the most oppressive hall I have ever been in. It felt as though we were not meant to enter, that we should turn back. Trisara and I attempted to halt the group, but Banam brushed us off and continued forward. Unwilling to separate, we followed. Along the stone walls there were lines carved. It was a language unfamiliar to us, but Trisara, always the studious one, began to take note. As we pressed on, the carved words became more jagged and deep, as though something other than a blade had begun to scratch them into the walls. At the end of the long hall, there was a door. It looked so ordinary, like every other door in the hold, but there was malevolence seeping out from it. No one spoke for a long minute, as though we all realized we may be facing something terrible beyond this door. Then Koira spoke up, asking us to back away so she could inspect the door. Before long, she finished her checks and assured us that there were no magics that she could detect. This was just a simple door. Banam stepped forward and produced an elegant golden key. He rushed inside as soon as he had unlocked and opened the door, his short frame lost from view before I could register what he had just done. Panicked, we all ran through the door after him, unsure of what we might find, but worry for our friend carried us forward. I have never seen so much treasure. Piles of gems so large I could swim in them, and so much gold I could have built a castle out of it and still been wealthier than the king himself. We are in awe. I sit here now, waiting for Koira and Relil to finish investigating so we may set the room and leave for the guild. Entry 4359. I'm glad to be home. We are still unsure of what we uncovered, but we know that we are all now filthy rich. Even split 5 ways, the treasure is a king's share each. The only things that still perturb me are the words on the wall, and the dragon we found. It was long dead and had decayed into nothing but bone. Yet, I still have no idea how it could have gotten into that room. There must be some hidden access that we are unaware of. For now, Trisara is compiling her notes to present to the guild. I'm sure by tomorrow afternoon she'll have an answer, and possibly even a translation. Entry 4360. Nightmares are unfamiliar territory for me. I rarely have them, but it wasn't jeweled eyes or the broken teeth that disturbed me the most. After heaving into a pot I heard clinking, worried I'd somehow knocked my own teeth out, I inspected the mess. I had thrown up coins. Never once in my life could I remember eating a coin. Now I had thrown up several, and I'm unsure if the weight in my stomach is dread or more gold. Entry 4361. I slept fitfully the rest of the night. Such awful dreams that on my way to the guild, even the mere glint off the coins being spent in the market made me uneasy. I counted my coins when I awoke. I have 16 gold pieces. Yesterday I had 25. I hope that maybe I can find an answer when I see the others. I hope they arrive soon. Entry 4362. No one else has mentioned nightmares or a sudden appetite for gold, but everyone seems on edge. Except Trissar and Manam. They have yet to arrive. We won't be able to present and claim our finding with the guild without their accounts. Koira says if they don't show soon, we will need to leave and find them. Entry 4363. She's dead. Trissara is dead. Koira and Ralil are arguing. I can't stop crying. Writing this may be the only thing keeping me from breaking down. We made our way to her home and found her in a puddle of bloody vomit. She had eaten gemstones, and the edges had been so sharp that when she heaved them back up, they had cut her throat. Her tan face now had scales emerging. Her normally flat teeth were pointed, and she had small nubs protruding at her hairline. Her lithe frame had broadened, and her pointed ears seemed to have grown tendrils. But it's not only her. Koira, who is so small and thin, seems taller, stronger. Her pale skin caught the light, and I saw the beginnings of orange scales around her jaw. At first, I didn't realize Ralil had also changed. His horns seem more jagged, and his eyes are no longer black, but a lizard's yellow. And even if it's faint, his red skin now has a new texture. Entry 4364. Everything happened so fast. Koira and Ralil calmed down, if only by a little. Ralil agreed to contact the guild. Koira and I would scout ahead to look for Banam. She was so angry, like she would bathe me in flames for every noise I made. She snapped at me when I mentioned her scales, but I refused to look at my own face after she told me I had them too. Even now I can't imagine what I have become. Banam was home, but he wasn't Banam anymore. His short, stocky frame had transformed into a lizard-like beast. His proud beard barely there anymore. He looked nowhere close to the civilized scaled folk I had met. He was more akin to a wild animal. He was searching for anything that shined and quickly eating it. Silverware, knives, glass. Koira was shouting again. She was never like this before. Even at her angriest, she was a calm and gentle person. Banam held up the key, the one he had used to open the door to the treasure room. But Koira lunged. It was horrible. There was nothing I could do. They were wild, fighting to kill, all for a small golden key. In moments, Koira was dead, and Banam was not far behind her. She'd ripped out his guts with her now clawed hands. He wasn't able to move. And in the viscera, I saw it. Amongst all the other things he'd eaten, there was the key. Leaving no time for thought, I grabbed it and fled. I could still hear him screaming for his gold. I must return to the treasure room. Entry 4364. I only have 4 more coins in my purse, but at this point, it doesn't matter. The gods laugh at me. I can now read the words on the walls. The language is recognizable to anyone born with scales, and apparently even those forced into them. Turn back, or you will die with a belly of gold and a heart gone cold. Even now, I feel my very bones breaking and my mind slipping. This is my farewell to those who knew me, for I will surely not be the same once this transformation ends. Heed me. Do not take this treasure. It is mine. This was the final journal entry. The body and journal were recovered by the guild. The other party member, Relil, having alerted them, but very quickly succumbing to the curse as well, dying while attempting to eat a decorative and bejeweled letter opener. Since the occurrence of this incident, the hold is believed to host cursed treasure. It has since been sealed off, and only those with high clearance are allowed entrance for research. No other reports of this rapid transformation have been recorded in this area. There have been a few rumors, but nothing substantial enough to create a pattern. The carvings have been recorded and translated. Beware a dragon's hunger for treasure and wealth. Its greed will consume your mind and your health. Your bones will bend, snap, and break. It's too late to realize your mistake. A single coin or solitary jewel is all that's needed to turn you cruel. Continue on and you will die with a belly of gold. No longer you, but a dragon with a heart gone cold. So far, it's unclear if this is part of a spell, a curse, or merely the poetic writings of someone who was also afflicted. When our unlucky journalist was found, he had been nearly fully transformed. His skull had cracked when the horns sprouted through. His teeth had become jagged and sharp. The skin on his back had ripped open and the beginnings of wings had attempted to extend, while his hands and feet had become clawed. His stomach was distended with gold and other treasures. The details of this curse are still murky, but as the estate researches the phenomenon, we want to bring this incredibly interesting story to light. We hope that soon we will have more information surrounding the history of the hold and the affliction that these unlucky few were caught in. For now, we recommend caution and proper research before delving into any abandoned holds looking for treasure. On that note, please feel free to browse our new exhibits, which depict various anatomy drawings from the medical research done regarding this story. And of course, please take your time to review our apprentice's latest pieces, including the one created for The Dragon's Hunger. I will remain here to answer questions, but for those of you leaving, please be aware that next time we meet, I will be reading a guest-submitted story. We thank you for attending Stitches and Stories with the Baker Estate Library and Archives. Have a pleasant evening.